Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It's time to buckle up because today we're diving into the chaos, shaking up markets, and headlines from Trump throwing shade at Elon Musk with deportation threats over the big, beautiful bill, to Tesla stock tanking as their beef heats up, and the Fed holding steady while clean energy stocks like Next Era Energy makes big moves. Oh, and did I mention Netflix wild sell off, plus some decent news that might bring it back? We're going to be breaking it all down, plus a potential 60-day ceasefire talk, Japan deal drama, and why casino stocks are popping off right now. Let's get into it. You guys don't want to miss it. So, we did have Fed Chair come out yesterday, but we had no major headlines with the meeting, with Fed Jerome still basically getting the same thing, basically holding rates steady and wait to see approach with the tariffs and everything like that. So, not really big market movers off of that. But we do have Tesla set to release its Q2 2025 delivery and production results, and it is estimated to be 385,000 vehicles. But we're getting a lot of falling sales with Tesla, and no one is thinking the data is going to surprise. People are thinking it's going to be lower than this. We also got some more beef coming out with Donald Trump and Elon Musk once again, starting it with throwing a lot of hate at the big, beautiful bill. Trump basically came back saying that Doge should look at Musk and even a potential deportation. And also coming out saying that he was against the EV mandate originally and saying that everybody should not be forced to own an EV, especially with what's going on. We see like the batteries exploding. And also saying that Elon Musk gets more subsidy than any other human being in history by far. And without it, he will probably have to close up shop and head back to South Africa. No more rocket launches, satellites, or electric car production. And saying that our country would save a fortune. And after that, saying that we should have Doge take a good, hard look at this. Big money to be saved. So this is bringing Tesla stock down overall. And just to think, man, these guys used to be best friends. But we have been seeing a big fall in Tesla overall with this beef. And with these numbers, if they don't surprise or if they go lower than expectations, we could probably see Tesla below that $300 level. So keep Tesla on your radar today, because we might see an even bigger sell-off, maybe even like a $20, $30 sell-off. You never even know. So keep the numbers and also any additional beef that comes out on your radar, and watch Tesla stock behind it. For anyone that's trying to take their trading to the next level, made a website with a bunch of courses that you guys can check out. First link in the description below. Check it out if you guys want to up your knowledge on the stock market. Relatively cheap courses, and we have sales going on. So check them out while the sales is still happening. We also seen a little shift from tech to staples, then kind of going back to tech towards the end of the day. But more or less, staples did benefit a lot yesterday, seeing some big movers going up. But Donald Trump wants a deal, a clear deal with Gaza. But the Hamas spokesman saying that the group is ready and serious about a ceasefire, but only that clearly leads to a complete end of war. Key obstacle, the central dispute remains whether a ceasefire is temporary pause or a final resolution. Israel insists it will continue fighting until Hamas is degraded. Hamas demands an end to the war. But what is Trump's 60-day ceasefire plan? Trump announced Israel had agreed to terms for a 6-day ceasefire, during which efforts would be made towards ending the war. He urged Hamas to accept, warning that conditions in Gaza would only get worse without an agreement. We also had the Senate passing the big, beautiful bill, represents a sweeping GOP agenda. Massive tax cuts paired with social program cuts cleared a crucial hurdle in the Senate, and a tie-breaking vote that J.D. Vance came out 51-50. But his future is uncertain as it's heading back to the House amid growing dissent and a looming July 4th self-imposed deadline. But what are people watching related to this? A lot of clean energy stocks are benefiting off of this, but one that moved and showed a clean move was NEE, Next Era Energy. And this one showed a better move than any other clean energy stocks. And I do recommend having this one on your radar just because it showed a constant upward trend, a little bit of a sell-off, but then boom, back up. So I do recommend looking at NEE related to this, especially if it passes the House. You can also check out SLR if you guys want. You know, it only moved like $1 or $2, but it was a big move for the stock's overall price. Next, I want to talk about Netflix, because Netflix had a big sell-off, but we did get some good news saying that NASA said they're going to do a live stream space content on Netflix. So this might bring it up. I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty cool. I might personally check out a few times, but it seems pretty decent. And we do have a big move to the upside. And we did break this 1300 level. So honestly, just watch how it opens up because we might get an upside, maybe fill some gaps back up. So do watch that, 1320, 1350. And then if we break above that 1350, we might be able to go to some upside a little bit more. So more or less some bad news on trade overall. Trump said the ninth deadline not extending and maybe no deal Japan. He kind of already said this in the past and it did have a little bit of a sell-off on the market and kind of just said it again live. He went live like 10 times yesterday. It was kind of insane, but also saying that, no deal has been clearly made with Japan and they could potentially pay 30 to 35% if no deal is made. And kind of like, telling everybody else, if there's no deal made, we're going to make a deal. They're going to just impose tariffs, just like we've seen in the past when he pulled out that little chart. But we might have a trade deal with India. So this might be, a little bit better, on the good side. We also had casino stocks make a big move as well. So as Macau shows June gaming revenue beating expectations, rising 19% year over year. Some stocks you can look at and that benefited off this. First one is MLCO. This one benefited a decent amount, going up to like $8.25. You can watch that $10 level for this one to the upside. Next one is WYNN. This one went up to 102. You can look at that 105 to that 110 level for this one. And then last but not least, MGN also benefited. You can look at that $40 level to that $45 level for this one if we do continue going to the upside. This is great numbers, and I don't think it's going to be one of those that, the hype gets killed off. I think maybe a few more days, you might see these stocks still rising. So keep these ones on your radar. And if they do start falling to the downside, you can place some put options and it might rebound back to its normal level and or maybe like a little bit like $1 or $2 above its normal level. So keep this in mind overall. But for the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and other stocks like that, we ended our 6-day win streak. So what does this mean? It doesn't look like it's too horrible. We've seen bigger sell-offs in the past. Maybe just people not really trading as much, not really as hype about the news. So honestly, don't look at this as a sell-off quite yet. We can even hit highs today. You never know what happens. This market is unpredictable. But with that being said, man, we did end that 6-day win streak, but I am looking at new highs today. So keep that on your radar overall. But let's get to some supports and resistance and some potential plays to make for the day. So first one to watch is AMD. We have been seeing a clear sell-off with AMD overall. Might even be able to fill some gaps back down to like that 130 to that 125 level, but some levels to watch in the meantime. Look at that 135, past that 135, look at 133.5 and that 130 flat. Below that, look at 127.5 and that 125 level to the downside. But if we start going back to the upside, look at that 137.5, 140, and that 145 level next. Past that 145, look at that 150 for AMD. Next is going to be the SPY, or people like to call it the spider. But look at that 620 level. If we could break above that 620 level, which is all-time highs, look at that 625 and 630. To the downside, look at that 616.5, 615, 612.5, and that 610 to that 605 level to the downside. Next one is going to be NVIDIA. We have been seeing another clear sell-off just like AMD. So if we do start going to the downside even more, look at that 151.5, 150, 149.5, and that 145 level to the downside for NVIDIA. But if we do start going back up, look at that 153.5, and then that 155, 157.5, and that 160 level to the upside. If we could finally break above that 160 level, which will get a lot of hype, look at that 165 to that 170 next. Next one is going to be Apple. We are getting a lot of hype, but please be cautious because the hype is kind of dying down. And honestly, we could probably see a big sell-off coming out soon unless we can get an official deal with this AI contract. With that being said, if we do start going to the upside even more, look at that 210, 212.5, and that 215. Past that 215, look at 218.5 to that 220, and the 225 to 230. To the downside, if we do start selling off, look at that 207.5, 206, 205, 203.5, and that 200 level, 199.5 after that. Tesla, man, I don't even know which way this is going to go. Really depends on the number and the news that comes out. So to the downside, do watch that 300. If we break below that 300, look at 295, 290, 285, and 280. and then 270 after that. To the upside, if we do start going to the upside, maybe the numbers beat or we just get some good news. Maybe the beef ends again. You never know. Look at that 305, 310, 315, 325, and that 330. And then past that, look at all the way to that 350 level once again for Tesla. Bitcoin, man, we have a big buy coming in. So honestly, to the upside, do look at that 108.5, 109.5, and that 110 level. But some stocks to trade with Bitcoin. Have your cautious because we might be able to sell off once again. I mean, we see this all the time. Look at MSTR. MSTR is a stock that moves with Bitcoin, Coinbase as well, but the contracts are relatively expensive and you're risking a lot. So I personally trade IBIT because it's low risk, high reward. So honestly, look at IBIT if you guys are trying to get into some contracts, if you guys want, or you can look at MSTR Coinbase. But IBIT is just an ETF that moves with Bitcoin, and you guys can trade options if you guys want to get into the crypto world. With all that being said, man, we don't have too much major coming out today. This is our last full trading day. So hope you guys enjoy the holiday. Tomorrow we have a half day, and Friday we have off for 4th of July. With all that being said, man, just watch news, watch data that comes out. We don't have too much major data, but maybe just the numbers on Tesla can move Tesla stock overall, and look at some trade deals because, I mean, we're nearing that July 9th deadline. So honestly, good luck trading today. Comment down below what tickers you guys are watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.